Hitchens, Racer, Guy.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Hitchens Razor Game Podcast. I'm Jessie and joining me today is Googs.
Hello everybody.
And today we're going to discuss something that's come back into the news, the Google memo incident.
Well, it's one I thought at least Google memo. Yes.
Yes. So the reason it's come back up recently is he has actually filed a class action lawsuit against Google.
James Damore.
Okay, so in August 2017, a Google software engineer by the name of James Damore sent out a memo, an internal memo to Google staff, basically saying that their practices were discriminatory against white men and conservatives.
And funnily enough, also women.
Yes, white women anyway.
Well, I mean that's true. It's still, I mean, I remember hearing about this August last year. Thanks to a wonderful YouTuber I frequent, this channel called Sargon of Akkad. And the minute I heard that James Damore had written this memo, and I looked at it, and whilst the science is well and truly beyond me, from what I heard from other scientists and people in the psychological fields and whatnot, it was absolutely correct. There was nothing in there whatsoever that was racist, sexist, or anything. It just went, hey, here are the facts.
Yeah.
These are this is the unprocessed data that says, you know, there are some things that women are better at than men, and there are some things that men are better at than women. And trying to force women into roles that didn't necessarily suit them just because they were women was not just unfair to those particular women, but also obviously unfair to the men that were going for those jobs as well.
Yeah, so I thought he made a very balanced argument. Okay, some of the things he said were always going to be controversial, especially in a place like Silicon Valley. But it all made sense. He had references to studies. Now, for every study that says something, there's often a study that says something else, but that doesn't necessarily invalidate the first study.
No.
So he did all that, which, mind you, when people reproduced it, they took out all his references. So there was lots of comments of people saying, oh, he hasn't referenced any studies, stuff like that, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
The funny thing that I really found about this whole issue was that I heard a lot of noise, a lot of angry noise. You know, this is violence, this is terrible, this is untrue, this is false, this is lies. Not one of those people who screamed that this is absolutely untrue came up with any counter evidence, any counter research, or anything like that. And when I say counter research, I'm not talking gender studies counter research. I'm talking psychological counter research, or some biologist who's come up with this a refutation for this. Didn't see anything. And this is where sort of the Hitchens razor comes into it, or the Occam's razor, depending on which one you prefer. It's like, well, here's this evidence, and you're saying it's wrong, but you're, in your arguments, presenting no evidence to back up your argument.
Yeah.
So, in other words, the argument came down to, and this is where it came down to in the end, I feel that this is violent. I feel that this is sexist. I feel this is racist. And on the basis of these people feeling that, including, I believe some people took time off work for the next week or something like that. And, you're sitting there going, well, hang on. I feel does not equate to reality.
No. So, also what they failed to mention is out of his 10-page memo, a page and a half was out of his 10-page memo, a page and a half was dedicated to ways to get more women into tech and how to help them advance.
Absolutely. And I think that to me should have been the crux and saga that people were looking at. Here's this guy who said, look, women tend to be more neurotic, which is absolutely true. Women tend to fall down here and here and here. So instead of getting them up to, say, a top job, the way you get a man up to that top job, instead, as you say, here's point 1, 2, 3 of ways psychologically and biologically we can help women do that on their own terms as women.
Yes. Now, we'll get this out of the way early. When we say as men or as women, women like this, men like this, we are obviously speaking generically, and we realise not everybody fits these traits. But for the sake of this argument, we're going to be saying men are likely, be more likely to choose jobs with objects, machines, systems, and danger. Women are more likely to choose jobs with people, talking, helping, children, and animals. Okay, so, well, for starters, let's just start off the top there. So, what percentage of women, Google is made up of what percentage of women, do you think?
Oh, well, to be quite honest, I don't know.
No. Well, I can tell you, depending on what you look at, it's about 20%.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking software engineer types here, not talking marketing and things like that. Marketing is a bit above, management is a bit above.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. No surprise there, according to what we just said. Marketing is more women dominated than men.
Yeah, and look, I'm all for women being in the software engineering role. In fact, there's many games that have come out over the years that women have programmed that I've enjoyed. Yeah. I have no issues there. But once again, generally speaking, which is what we're doing, men tend to like number crunching and all that. That's programming.
Yeah, all right. Well, this brings me to the next point. What would you say if I said the percentage of women in computer classes all around the world? What percentage would that be?
Oh, I have no idea again.
Okay, 26%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they're at 20%. Computer classes are at 26%. So that's pretty bloody close.
So demographically, they're running about not quite parity.
Not quite, but you'd think, given the normal attrition and stuff like that, 5 years, 10 years maybe, they would naturally go to that.
And a company like Google, being corporate, of course, they're all about making money. And you don't just want anybody to fill those roles. You need the best of the best to fill those roles. So let's just say 26%. So you've got 74% men, 26% women, and out of that, maybe 50% of those blokes end up in the workforce at a top level, say with someone like a Google or a Microsoft. And you might end up with maybe 18% of the women. Once again, you've got this attrition rate. Not everyone, it doesn't matter. If you've got a ticket, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end up in that field.
No, that's right. So, 26% odd. So, when you go back, then people start arguing, well, why is only 26% of people at university, colleges, women?
They're allowed to make choices.
Well, that's right. So, we go back a step further, we go to high school. Percentage of people in computer science courses in high school. I can tell you it's the same, it's 26%.
And there's, look, once again, it comes down, this is the one thing that myself as a human being, I love, is liberty.
Yeah.
Now, women and men, and, if you're a transgender folk or gay or whatever you are, it doesn't matter the colour of your skin, it's up to you to choose what you do with your life. And if you're really good at computing and you go into high school, brilliant. You go to university, great. Turns out you're the top 5% of your class. Off to Google you go. Yeah. Fantastic. Once again, though, I mean, most of, they say there's social norms, but everyone plays computer games.
Yeah, that's right. So, and that keeps going back as well. You look at high school, you look at, these stats are American, so like middle school and elementary school, the same percentage all the way through. There are no prerequisites in elementary school for computer science. If you can turn up, you can do computer science, but it's still the same percentage. So, now speaking of, continue on this one a little bit more. So we've had a look at the least sexist countries this guy can think of. Like Norway. Well, he did Sweden, New Zealand, and Canada. So I think most people would agree they are among the least sexist. Obviously it's a very hard thing to quantify.
Certainly, is it Iceland, who've only, after 50 years, finally gotten a law that says women should be paid the same as men, or they could be charged?
So they all have approximately the same number of women in computer classes. So it's like 30%, 20%, 24%. They're all that range.
Yeah.
Now, going the other way, So if I was to ask you what country has the most women in computer science courses, what would you say there?
Oh, gee. Oh, it would have to be my guess would be one of the Northern European countries. I've got three in mind, and I'll just take a stab in the dark, 1, 2, 3. So I'll go Sweden, Finland, or Norway.
Yeah, voting class.
Yeah.
Number one, with 55%, Thailand.
Now, that makes sense, though.
Number two, Guyana,
Yeah.
Malaysia,
Yeah.
Iran,
Yeah.
Zimbabwe, Mexico. All of these countries are not exactly known for being high on the Gender Development Index.
No, but they're very high on the tech industry. Very
Well,
high.
I'm not sure if Guyana is or Zimbabwe, but
Well, if you think about if you think about it our way, sure. But if you think about it in the sense of how many spam mail do you get from those sort of places?
Well,
How many viruses come from those sort of places? How many people do Microsoft employ from Thailand? Where you've got these young hackers that have created this program and gone, Microsoft.
well, yes, but that doesn't explain why there's more women than men, or the higher proportion of women.
Well, it might be, excuse me for saying so, but maybe because the women, most of those in Muslim countries, the women are forced to stay at home. You can compute from home.
Yeah, well, that's right. So, I thought that was really interesting. So, it's actually the countries that do not have gender parity that have the higher percentage of women in computer science.
And the funny thing is that once again, I just bring this back to liberty all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You let people be people, and the rest sorts it out. Quite often, especially in our nations, we often think that equality is outcome, rather than equality is liberty and choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I've got women friends who are in their third year of an accounting degree.
Yep.
And that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. We need really good accountants. I certainly do. I probably have one running me back, have one running me back home, so I'd be a lot better off. But still, there are women I know who are in computing.
Yeah.
And great. The best minds need to be on the job. So, instead of looking for outcome and everything's 50-50, what we should be doing is looking at trying to say, well, you just do your thing. If you're really good, do it.
Yeah, which leads me excellently into my next point.
I've done that 3 times now. It's fantastic.
It's a very common and well-replicated finding that the more progressive and gender equal a country, the larger gender differences in personality. So, I think your one that you bring up is in Sweden?
Norway.
So the nurses?
Absolutely.
So it's a very, very gender progressive country,
Mm-hmm.
and the nurses are 90% women.
90%, it's actually 95%.
Okay. 95% women.
And engineers, it's 86.3 in favour of men.
Yep.
And this is because in gender neutral countries, or as gender neutral as you can make things, you will then see what we talked about in the first place, with women tending to go for the more humanistic work in the nursing.
Yep.
And you've got the overlap with the blokes, the 5% or whatever it is with the blokes. Mm-hmm. And you've got the same with engineering. You've got the 86 point whatever it is for the blokes, and the 13 whatever it is with the women. And it's not a case of that's a sexist workplace, because, hey, nursing isn't sexist. Anyone can go for that job.
Jeez, I couldn't do it.
I couldn't, but that's what I'm saying. But men could. We could do that.
Of course, yeah.
And women could certainly do engineering. There are women out there who could do engineering without a problem. But they don't want to. So all the women go, well, we prefer working in the humanities. And the men go, oh, let's build something.
Yes. Well, that's precisely right, yeah. So, I think it's just amazing. The more gender progressive you are, the more choice people have. So what do you do? Argue that people's choices are wrong?
Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly what they're doing. It's outcome, a quality of outcome, and it's actually a very socialist idea.
Yeah. So I looked a bit further into that. So certainly some jobs have become more parity. Certainly some jobs have more parity. So medicine is 51% women, which is pretty bloody close to 50-50. Maths in university is split 50-50. I didn't know that. But let's go back to medicine for a minute. So let's look at specialties. So I'm going to read you some specialties, and I want you to tell me whether they're men or women.
Rightio.
As the majority, that is.
Yep.
Gynecology.
Men.
No, women.
Well, see, I just initially assumed that every man needed to know what clitoris was, but
That's
still.
right. How about surgery?
That'd be men.
Yeah. Anesthesiology?
Women.
Oh, men actually.
Men. Oh,
Yeah.
geez, there you go.
Psychiatry?
Oh, geez, men.
No.
No, women.
Suck it. I thought this was pretty obvious, but okay. What's dealing with people? This is going back to my point before. Okay, alright, alright. So, female residents, okay, this is the majority female residents. Gynecology, pediatrics, psychiatry, and family medicine. All dealing with people. People, families, things like that. Male residents, so it's internal medicine, radiology, anesthesiology, emergency medicine, and surgery. All dealing with machines, people who are unconscious, things like that, people where they don't have to interact as much.
And a lot more pure science, I would think, as well.
Well, I think that's somewhat the idea, but in regards to pay, pediatrics pays huge amount. Psychiatry often depends, internal medicine not so much, radiology not so much, surgery definitely highly paid. So it doesn't go by pay either, this is just strictly what they want us to do.
Yes.
Which is great.
And, but if you give an example even in the building industry, I mean, I've worked as a painter, and there was a young lady who was working in the same business as I was, and she was a better painter than me. And I'll openly admit that she was better than me. And so guess what? Funnily enough, her hourly rate was about $3 more an hour than mine. Now that may not sound like a lot, but in an industry where the pay rate was, from base pay to full pay that you could get was $5.
Okay. Yeah.
$3 meant that she was one of the best working for this particular
$120 a week.
Exactly. And I didn't mind that because, I didn't mind because she was just better than me. And, what do you do? When people talk to me about this idea of pay differences, I quite often giggle because these days specifically, if you're the better worker, you'll get the better pay.
Yeah, as it should be.
And if you're better at the art of the deal with the prospective employer, and maybe some advice to some young ladies, don't be afraid to ask for a raise.
Yes, definitely. Well, of course, the issue there is pushy women are seen, women who negotiate are seen to be bitchy or pushy. However, women, while they seem to be pushy, bitchy, they are indeed seen to be more effective.
Well, do what you've got to do to get ahead.
That's right.
I mean, it's that simple. I mean, okay, there's still a bit of that old boys culture still in our society.
No one's denying.
It's only been 50 years. It probably took another 50, to get fully going on this concept of parity on it. If do I consider a bloke who stands up for himself and says, no, look, I've done all this and you need to pay me more or I'm going next door to work for bloke B, I don't think he's bitchy or pushy. I think he's standing up for himself, doing the right thing, and I can't see why. I can see why they would look at women as bitchy and that. But, people like that probably aren't worth working for in the first place.
No, that's right.
I'm sure you've got a better job around the corner.
Yeah. So anyway, I've taken this way off track. Let's go back to the Google memo. So he's done various interviews because he got fired because of this memo a month after he posted it. He's gone on all these shows and stuff like that, give interviews. Not surprisingly, he's a software engineer, so he's a bit of a nerd, a bit of an introvert, perfectly fine. Not a great speaker, but hey, he's got a message to say, so let him say. So he was saying that there was one person who criticised him, and they got a bonus for it. That there was a guy who was a known conservative, he had links to the Trump administration, although it didn't actually work for him, links sort of thing. He was security stopped him from entering the building. So really, it's very anti-conservatism.
Well, the funny thing is, what I'm finding is that this whole conservative war thing. Since when has fact and truth meant you're right wing?
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy hasn't gone out and gone, Trump is my saviour, and by the way, women are shit.
Mm-hmm.
If he had done that,
yeah, okay, absolutely.
no problems, you've gone, mate. But to just put down some scientific research, some basis and some facts, give some ideas that may help the young women coming through the system to achieve better, their goals better.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? This bloke, oh yeah, okay, he likes Trump, or whatever his arm's length. So what? Your political affiliation shouldn't get you fired from your job.
No, that's right. Yeah, this guy was just coming in for lunch to someone else, not to this guy. And they knew about it. So there was a blacklist that they had, a bunch of people who, in response to this, they've now hidden the list, so you don't know who's blacklisted. Before it was quite open. And they're all conservatives or violent people, things like that. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of people sure you do not want.
No, for sure.
But just because someone holds a different political opinion should not stop them coming. Especially because you want diversity, but yet you want everyone to be the same political leaning.
Well, the thing is, with a lot of the diversity I see today, it's not diversity as far as ideas go and cultural sharing of ideas and whatnot. It's all about, no, we must sit in our little echo chamber. That's probably a good word for it. And, we don't like hearing people with different points of view, so let's blacklist, let's ban. I mean, Google are doing a very good job at least they tried to do a very good job of that last year on YouTube too.
Yep.
They were black banning everybody left, right and centre. Even their biggest creator YouTube channel, which is PewDiePie.
Definitely.
And he did this funny little skit, and he was quite shocked by the contents of it. It was racist. Mm-hmm. He admits it, but he lost his channel on YouTube, Red, and all the rest of that sort of stuff.
Millions of dollars in advertising.
Oh, absolutely. Now he's just back to being a regular old YouTuber. As far as his numbers go, regular old.
Yeah, that's right.
But still, to me, this whole thing about Silicon Valley and the media being partisan and all of this sort of thing, it does not breed, as you say, it does not breed diversity. How can you have different ideas if you've only got the same thoughts?
Yeah. Well, that's right. So these guys are encouraged in meetings, like the white men. In meetings, they are encouraged to stand up and say, "This is my opinion based on being a privileged white man," or something like that. Which is just absolutely, I hate using the term, I'm going to use it in the official definition of what many years ago, it's retarded.
And I'm going to use a different word, which is not quite often used in this context these days. That's racist as hell. Why would you do it? I mean, if you wanted to do that, these people, if you're one of these folks who feels that way, how about this? What happens if Obama stands up and goes, "This is my opinion based on the fact that I'm a privileged black man." Because he is worth multi-millions of dollars. He was the leader of the free world for 8 years. Well, that's pretty damn privileged as far as I'm concerned. Well, I wouldn't want him to do that because, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care.
No.
And I don't care that these guys are. Why would you care? And they want like the old righteous drumming, and these new Nazi type parties are coming on because the black people have got their identity politics, the women have got their identity politics, the Asians and all the white men are getting angry and pissed off in the corner, going, "You know what? We want our own."
Yeah.
And it's not right.
No.
For any of them, mind you. Because it's all based on racist and sexist ideals as far as I'm concerned. But, it's just not diversity. It's not actually helping anyone. And then you get something like the idea of unconscious bias. You don't even know you're biased, which means you're automatically guilty no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's right. No, I'm how can I put it? I'm aware I have an unconscious bias, does that make sense? And we all do. But to say that only white men have
Prove it.
Well, that's right, it's unconscious.
No, you can't prove. You can't say that you do because
I'm pretty sure I do. But
how?
It's a normal thing.
No, it isn't. Absolutely not. You can't prove to me that you can get a 1-month-old, 2-week-old white kid, 2-week-old Asian kid, a 2-week-old black kid, put them together, and the white kid's going to smash on with the black kid, and the Asian's going to live in the corner laughing on you silly brackets.
Yeah. No, I think by the time we get to working age, let's say,
then it's conscious. Because you're aware of it then.
I'm aware of it. I didn't say everyone else was.
You said you had unconscious bias.
I am.
No, you're not. How can you be aware of something you're
I know, that's why I said it. The problem might not make sense.
No, well,
I'm self-aware. I'm self-aware enough to know I probably have unconscious bias.
well, I can't know if I have unconscious bias. Therefore, I apply Occam's razor. I have biases, but I'm very conscious of them.
Well, that's right. I tend to think I'm very conscious of mine too. But not everyone's like that. I believe a lot of people have unconscious bias. I believe a lot of people have conscious bias.
Yeah, but there's a very big difference between being unconscious bias. Literally means that you can, even if you're not a racist person or a sexist person, you're instantly that anyway.
Yes.
Even if you're not.
Right.
So now somebody may think that holding a racist point of view isn't biased, which of course it is.
Yeah.
But that's not unconscious bias either. That's just a matter of saying, hey, and then they'll say, oh, now I'm conscious of it. What can you do? Unconscious bias to me is an absolute unfalsifiable proposition and deserves to be in the same realm as Jehovah himself.
I disagree with that. I just think it's not. It's often the way people are brought up, in my experience.
Then you're conscious of it.
Well, I'm conscious of their unconscious bias.
They're not unconscious of it. You can't tell me that a person who intentionally goes out of their way and says something that they know to be wrong. We're all taught.
Okay, all right. What about? There's a famous study of boys and girls doing a maths test. Mm-hmm. If it's a boy's name on it, it'll get a higher score as done by the teachers. As marked by the teachers. If it's a boy's name, it'll get a higher score than a girl's name.
And the controls, the teachers were male or female?
Well, there was all sorts of stuff going on there.
Well,
there's all sorts. It wasn't done just by one teacher and 30 students. This was done by thousands of students and hundreds of teachers, dozens of teachers.
Well, I'll tell you what. You show me the peer review results, because I know for a fact that they tried to peer review unconscious bias, and even the people who did it say it was meant to be a tool. It is not based on fact. So, no, how can you know if something's happening if you're unconscious of it?
Because I can see it in you. You can be unconscious of it. I can be conscious of your unconscious.
But that's not where they're coming from. They're saying that you don't know and neither does anybody else.
No, you just have to recognise that you have it.
But I don't, because I don't.
Well, they disagree.
No, that's me.
Look, this is Google saying you have unconscious bias.
Considering what we're doing. But anyway,
going back to Google. So today or yesterday, he has brought a class action lawsuit against Google.
Okay.
And so a bunch of other emails and things came out. Interestingly, there was a how-to for joining Antifa. Mm-hmm. There was a woman there who wanted examples of people being conservative, and she would put these examples onto a document, and then after a significant, whatever portion of time, she can actually specify, they would have a trial, that's a quote-unquote trial, and their names may come off if they change their ways off this document.
Jehovah be thy name. Come on. We're talking about a witch hunt here, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the good old-fashioned, let's burn them. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
It is. Yeah.
And joining Antifa, come on. I mean, okay, if you want to be a university professor, John a balaclava and hit some poor bugger having a conversation with a white guy, go join Antifa. They're the new version of the violent hippies of the 60s, except these guys are more violent.
Yes. So, it's actually been a really interesting memo to read. Yeah, so I think we've covered that one fairly well.
I think so.
Okay. So, moving on to the next thing. So, I don't know if you saw recently, just after the Golden Globe, a certain TV celebrity decided that they may want to become president. Did you see who that was going to be?
Oh, I did. I believe it goes like this. You can be president, you can be president, and you can be president. Be a free president all your life. We're talking Oprah Winfrey.
We are, indeed. And where do you start?
Well, to be quite honest, I don't mind the fact that, mind you, she hasn't come out and said she's running for president at this point. But the media have. They've come out and gone, she's running for president. And if she did, to be internally consistent, I'd say, well, I don't know.
She has every right to do it. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Yeah, she's at least the same level business person as the current president, I would imagine.
I think she hasn't lost as much money. She was smart to win into TV.
Yeah, that's right. But given the uproar about Donald Trump, President Trump, excuse me, President, and people saying he was inexperienced and all this sort of stuff, just a TV star.
Out of touch, wow.
Out of touch, businessman and TV star, no military experience, no politics, no political experience. How is that not the same as Oprah?
Good question.
Except she, from what I've seen, she's a nicer person.
Is she? I mean,
as I said, from what I've seen.
Yeah, the one thing about venture capitalists, which they both are, is you don't get that much money by being a nice person, A. B.
To be fair, I said nicer person.
Well, you can't tell me that she's nice. You don't know that just because you've seen someone.
From what I've seen, I've said that. Jesus, listen to what I'm saying.
No, I'm being contrarian.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, you know, she's probably would be a better candidate, I believe, would be the Democrats if she ran for them, because A, she's more popular than Trump. More people trust her, especially in the demographics of African Americans and white women.
Oh, sure.
You know, that's all your population. You know, over 60-70% of your population, hands down.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, these folk, what are they thinking? We don't like Trump, and then come out and say, "Oh, we do like Oprah."
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about hypocrisy? You know, that right there is biblical level hypocrisy.
Absolutely.
That's the sort of hypocrisy that you expect from politicians, not the Sunday Telegraph. But interesting, talking about the age, going to Fairfax. Now, Fairfax in Australia, of course, left-wing partisan publication, with Fairfax, and they come out with what, if Oprah ran, what the opposition or the Republicans would have against her and use against her. And all these people from London, oh, what, you've turned to a right-wing rag, or it's like, no, they're supporting her and just saying this is what her opponents will drag out. Which they look.
It's going to come out anyway, you might as well get that.
Well, she was friends with that rapey fella in Hollywood, what was his name, Bernstein? Weinstein.
Okay.
She was really good mates with him.
Yeah.
Well, hell. The story's already terrible, isn't it? So, you know, it's one of those things where you just sit there going, well, hang on, you guys wanted a good politician. You got, you know, maybe this is the part where the media go, well, we can't go with Clinton. Hillary's lost her mind.
Well, she's never going to recover from losing to Trump.
No. Sanders is far too old.
Yep.
Pelosi, yeah, great attack whip.
Yep.
Politician, beautiful attack whip. Yeah, not presidential.
No.
They've got maybe got another couple of people there, maybe. Who have they got? No one. Especially to take on the Trump train.
Yeah.
And it is a huge train. But the other good thing is Oprah can do what Trump did, fund herself.
Yeah. Well, she's worth $1 billion, isn't she? It must be
a couple of billion, yeah. And, you know, so therefore, she's not really going to cost the DNC anything when it comes to advertising, is she?
There you go, 2.8 billion apparently.
Well, there you go, she's worth more than Trump. So, you know.
Worth more than Michael Jordan.
My thing is, though, the media are also chasing her, I think, for two other reasons. When they were chasing Hillary Clinton, it was breaking a glass ceiling, right?
Yep.
It was woman into the Oval Office.
Yep.
What a double it would be. It'd be like 2-3 points in a row to win the game, wouldn't it? I mean, black woman. Wow.
Yep.
That's wow.
Yeah, definitely.
First time ever, women break the ceiling, black women break the ceiling, black people obviously not, because Obama. But yeah, there's your double. Bang. Straight out. So I can understand why the folk on the left, the Democrats, are going, yeah, Oprah Winfrey, in the media, Oprah Winfrey's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I can see that. I just don't understand the hypocrisy of the whole, we don't like Trump because he's a fat cat and he's a TV star and he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, is Oprah Winfrey, I suppose the other thing, of course, is they're thinking, here's a lady who's given money to the poor, and she's
that's right. She'll have all the black people on her side. She'll have all the women on her side. Obviously, they're black women.
And women influencing their
that's right. So really, you put her against Trump, I think she would win by a landslide.
I don't think she'd win by a landslide. I don't think that would
Mind
actually.
you, I also thought Hillary would win by a landslide.
So did I, and we both were very, very
Yes.
wrong. Mainly because we're Australian and we didn't take into account the different states have different values.
It's a very complicated system.
It's a good system. The more I look at it, the more I like it. But still, Oprah Winfrey, would she win hands down? She probably would because she could get the poorest states, and the poorest states was what swung it for Trump last time. Yeah, places like Iowa, places like Missouri.
The Rust Belt.
Yeah,
Detroit. She could definitely get there.
Oh, absolutely, and especially places like Detroit, where you've got a huge population of black folk. So,
she was one of those ones, one of those people that grew up poor and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she did, and I think her first movie was The Colour Purple from memory, which was actually quite a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. It's not a bad movie. It's all about violence in black households.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of like the African American version of Once Were Warriors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she was born into poverty in rural Mississippi. So she has got all these places.
She grew up in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, and became pregnant at 14. This lady has been there, done that, when it comes to the School of Hard Knocks, which also is a huge selling point. She came from the projects, Mississippi. So, yeah, I think that, from that point of view alone, she's got the people. The thing is, though, that to be quite brutally honest, America, if it goes down this pathway, the last time they had a president, I think it was a movie star, was Reagan, but he spent a good 20 years in Parliament before he became president.
Yeah, that's right.
But if they keep going down this track, they'll end up with lots of figureheads, but the bureaucrats will actually be running their country.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now with Trump. And even though I like the fact that Trump hasn't done anything overly egregious or heinous or particularly good even, it's not him running the show. It's the people who are meant to be his bootlickers, excuse the term, but bootlickers, the bureaucrats running the show. Yep. And the danger with that, of course, is that if they're not actually leading, they're not actually running the scene and getting everybody else to do it for them, which is what, let's face it, it's what billionaires do. Mm-hmm. They run on everybody else's ideas. Then where do you think this is all going to end? It's going to end in America, the government becoming less and less for the people because it's not being run by the people.
Well, this is one of my favourite bits from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Zaphod Beeblebrox is Galactic President. President's not there to wield power, he is there to take attention away from it. So, we've got Trump and President Winfrey sitting there, and they're the figureheads. All the good stuff is happening in the background, and which I think as it should.
You want a leader. You want somebody who at least understands what is going on.
Well, that's the problem. This is where I think Oprah falls in. I don't consider her to be a leader, fabulous entertainer, although not really my style. But there's no doubt she's extremely popular.
Absolutely.
And I have no doubt she's good at what she does. I'm very sure she can be a bitch when she wants to be.
Oh, mate, I reckon that Oprah Winfrey has every penny she's ever earned. Yeah. Is a good penny.
Yeah.
So, good luck to her.
But I don't think that makes her a good person.
And I feel the same way about Mr. Trump.
Oh, of course, yes.
As my off-held opinion is that I would have loved to have seen, say, someone like Bernie Sanders versus, what was his name?
Cruz.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise. Now, I don't necessarily agree with either of their politics.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, the short Scientologist. Top Gun.
That would be an interesting debate.
Ted Cruz. Well done.
Should I let that go?
No, of course not. One up. But at least you've got two intellectuals there, two long-term politicians who understand the game, who understand a bit of everything. That would have been an interesting debate.
Yes.
That would have been a great, even if you don't like Ted Cruz or you don't like your Bernie Sanders, or either one of them, at least you're going to get something interesting.
Yeah, well that's right. This is what I hate about the debates at current. They ask you a question, my party policy is this. And then my party policy is this. Well, it's not a debate.
Hillary was fed lines and Donald Trump didn't know anything. So they were the most ill-informed, illiterate political debates I've ever seen. Yeah. It literally came down to Hillary going, I have a vagina, and Trump going, I'm big tough billionaire.
Yeah, that's right. I'll bring jobs to the man.
Yeah, cowboy hats and feather bowls on the other side.
No, which one's which?
I'll leave that up to you. Viewers' discretion.
There's an image I can't get out of my mind.
But yeah, no, I mean, the blatant hypocrisy is what probably upsets me the most. Yeah. You know, I would like to see America move back into actual politics with people who understand geopolitics and, you know, can we guarantee, for example, that Oprah Winfrey, who loves her Twitter, all right, isn't going to end up doing fairly similar things to Donald Trump and showing us how ignorant she is as much as he shows us how ignorant he is. You know, I mean, let's call a man with nuclear weapons short, fat, and ugly.
Yeah,
because he called me an idiot wearing a toupee.
But it's okay when you've got a bigger butt.
Well, he doesn't, but that's not the point, I guess.
It's not the size that can.
Well, no, it's not a button, but that's not the point, I guess.
No.
But I mean, yeah,
the
Oprah Winfrey thing with Oprah Winfrey with Harvey Weinstein, she's very much Hollywood. Hollywood at the moment, I think, also is trying to do their level best to become popular again, to become good people again.
Yes.
Oh, look at us, we're virtue signaling, we're great people. When in fact we all know that the casting couch will be open again tomorrow morning.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't think selecting a leader from Hollywood or Hollyweird is necessarily the best option.
Yeah. Who else said they were going to do 2020? Kanye said it. There's another one I wouldn't particularly like.
The Rock, as a joke, did say it. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I would vote for that.
I would love to. I want him to win the primary. I don't care which party he's for, but he wins the primary and he comes out and he goes in the debate. I'm going to kick your candy ass. The Rock says that you're nothing. I think that would be absolutely fair. I know what you should do. You have Dwayne The Rock Johnson running for the DNC and Stone Cold Steve Austin running for the Republican.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, the Mycox would be fantastic.
Okay, so I think we can agree that Oprah running is at least as disastrous as Donald Trump.
And I would agree with that, and I would also like to once again point out the absolute hypocrisy of the Democrats after screaming about Donald Trump being a person with no experience, and now coming out and going, oh, but Oprah, look, hey, if she wanted to go for it, good luck to her.
Yep.
Good luck to her.
Oh, look, she has every right to do it.
Absolutely.
And it would make for an entertaining presidential race.
Oh my good. Well, considering that her and Trump were pally, she was joking with Trump many years ago in an interview about him possibly running for president. The replay of that interview would be very interesting with the moderator.
Offhand, I would also like to see Mark Cuban attempt to run because Mark Cuban and Donald Trump hate each other. Absolutely despise each other. My favourite story with Mark Cuban is so Trump obviously had his Apprentice TV show. So the first season, so I think the guy by the name of Bill won it.
Yep. Mark
Cuban came in, took the second place guy, paid him double. Just to be a PR, just for the hell of it. That's the kind of guy Mark Cuban is. Oh,
I reckon that those debates, it'd be absolute war.
It would be so great. Anyone that follows the NBA knows what a character that Mark Cuban is.
I don't follow NBA and I already like him.
Yeah.
Alright guys, well thank you very much for spending time with us this day, and we will catch you next time on the Hitchens Razor Gang. Please share, subscribe and like if you'd like to, and we hope to see you on our Facebook page. The link will be in the description. I'll catch you later, Jesse.
Catch you later, Googs.
Hitchens, Razor, Gang.